A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to go into hell." Well, that's a fairly hard passage. It would appear to rule out the possibility of entering heaven at least with a full set of limbs and eyes for an awful lot of people. "You have heard that it was said," is Jesus' refrain. And the readings that we're getting these few days are breaking up what we call the Sermon on the Mount into very bite-sized pieces. That makes it quite easy to want to focus on the precise subjects that Jesus is talking about there, the traps that come out of lust. But I think it's more helpful to look at the larger passage, because there's a refrain going on. Jesus is on a roll about, "You have heard that it was said, but I'm saying to you." Jesus is calling for excellence. That's a very challenging call. It's a very hard call to live up to. And Jesus was fully human. He was aware that this was a challenging call. But he calls us out of complacency. He calls us away from relying just on what it says in textbooks. He calls us always to want to up our game so that we show love to those around us, so that our behaviour is not blighted by the traps into which it is so easy to fall. And he does this not out of an urge to condemn, but out of a desire to change the world so that people's focus might be on God and on the way that God calls us to walk down, which we know as the way of love. These are hard and demanding passages, and they rely on hyperbole. But the end game that Jesus has in mind, the end game which he embraces with arms outstretched on the cross, the end game is to try to show people what the way of love means, sacrifice and all, because the way of love elevates all our desires and intentions, and that really helps build the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. Amen.